I'm Malika. I'm a host at Urbanation. And I'm kind of excited to hear about your Splitsvilla Roadies journey and reality television journey. So yeah, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to tell you about that as well.
So kind of jumping right in, I mean, in your audition for Roadies, you do explain really why you wanted to join the show, but how do you even kind of hear about these auditions? What's that behind the scenes process like, and why did you decide that, this is the time that I really want to go for it?
How did I hear about it? Actually, I was waiting for Roadies audition since long. Due to
Okay.
lockdown, it didn't happen. Like offline auditions didn't happen during that time, so I was just
Yeah.
waiting for it. I've been a fan since I was a kid, like in seventh, eighth standard. I used to, just manifest that I'll go on that show. I'll
Okay.
do this. I'll perform these challenges like this. And so I was waiting for the auditions. I was just searching for it, like MTV Roadies page on Instagram or Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. I was just waiting for it.
So, what is the process like before the PI? Because as viewers, we see it from that
Hmm.
start, right? So, what is it like before you even get to that portion of the interview process?
Oh, that is the toughest part. Like
Okay.
PI is also tough because of so many cameras and all the
Yeah.
four judges sitting in front of you. But I feel the toughest part is to crack GD1. First,
Okay.
you get into a line, like there are thousands of people standing, and you sometimes have to wait for 7, 8, 10 hours to get into the GD room. You need to fill
Wow.
up a form of 4 pages, and sometimes you feel a little underconfident, the amount of level people carry over there.
Yeah.
Like everyone's old, they're doing some sort of handstand push-ups, like everything. Like so many talented people come to those auditions, but the key is to just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That yeah, if you believe in yourself, even if you don't have that level of fitness level or anything, but if you believe in yourself, you can get through GD1. Like for example, on GD, on the day of GD1, around 4 5 6,000 people come, and among them around 100 it varies actually, get
Okay.
selected for GD2. They're
Okay.
called next day in front of the five main creative team. Like
Okay.
I felt it was more tough to be in front of those people, like the creative team, like the main channel heads and all of them. They're like way too smart, and they judge you so quick. If you lie, if even if you lie like a single line, they'll catch you right
Wow.
away.
Okay.
So from that 100 they would select around 12 to 20 people who go into PI, and then from 50 60 people, this time it was around 30 people who went for the journey. So that's how it
Yeah.
goes.
Wow. Okay. So, kind of moving from the roadies to Splitsvilla journey. I mean, you've had a lot of famous altercations, right? I was watching both of your shows, and I mean, most famously, you've had it with Civith from both, shows, both roadies and Splitsvilla. So, I think from an audience perspective, a lot of people are always wondering, right? Like, are those kind of scripted? Like, are you guys kind of playing the game, which would be really smart, in my opinion, to kind of play the game too, right? Or is it, fully real and that's just the environment that you're in because it's almost like a bubble, right? Every reality show is all of your emotions are super high because you're in that environment all the time. Or is it kind of a mix of both? Like, you're playing the game, but also your emotions are really high.
It can be both for someone else, but for me personally, it was very real. I was very
Okay.
real throughout Roadies, throughout Spets. Roadies, I was like super real and raw. I was playing with my whole heart. But in Splitsvilla, I was definitely using my mind to
Yeah.
how to go about it, because I knew how things work over there now. But talking about Shivet and me, about like if it was scripted or not, I'll tell you one thing. Like after Roadies for 8 months, we didn't even talk for once.
Okay.
Like once.
Yeah.
We were the main guys of that show, but we didn't talk. Even we used to have banters on Instagram lives or some sort of poking through Instagram stories.
Yeah.
And inside me, I had that revenge thing inside me. Like if I go to
Yeah.
Splits, I'll definitely beat this guy down. I have to do it no matter what, because he was the one who was who went ahead in the roadies journey.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a small thing. Like in the first time of history of roadies and Splitsvilla, there were 6 bouncers kept
Wow.
specifically
Okay.
for us. That's
Wow.
not really wow, but yeah, that happened. So it wasn't scripted at all, and they took special care of us that we would sit in different, you know, the whole boys crew used to, all boys contestant used to go in Traveler, and I
Yeah.
used to go in a different car just
Wow.
because there was so
Okay.
much heat over there. We used to sit on different dining tables just to have food. So it was like that. So it was not
Wow.
scripted at all. The
Okay.
heat was really
It was
there.
really there between the both of you, like
Yeah.
that competition
Yeah, but
and the
yeah,
energy.
but as the show went on, it kind of mellowed down after some time, after 15, 20 days, it was sort of normal, I felt.
So it's interesting that you said that you felt like you had to use a lot more of your strategic planning for Splitsvilla. And I've
Yeah.
watched a couple of seasons because we don't have anything similar in the US. So it's super interesting looking at it from that perspective. And I've watched a couple of seasons, and I have to say the strategic planning is massive, right? In both shows. Does that ever kind of mess with your mind? Like how much you have to involve the strategic planning as well as, the physical tasks. So you have to perform, then you have to have the strategic planning plus the allyship. Does it ever feel like it's so much that you just want to give up and say, you know what, that's it, I'm done?
It happens with a lot of contestants, and they come out of the show like in during the show as well, even during roadies, even during splits. There were a couple of contestants, I wouldn't take name. They were
Mm.
like, we want to quit, we want to leave,
Yeah.
but the show doesn't allow you to because you have signed NDA and all of that. But yeah, it happens, but not with me. I was like, doesn't matter if I don't sleep for 3, 4, 5 days. I tell you about roadies, like for the first 3 days I couldn't even sleep. There was so much going around. I was like,
Wow.
what the hell is happening over there?
Yeah.
It was very, very, very tough, honestly. And I thought splits would be easy. We wouldn't be traveling from one place to another much, but the weather conditions in Udaipur were extreme. Like
Okay.
they used to be like really, really, really very hot. We used to shoot for around 6 to 8 hours in scorching heat, and in the night for our dome sessions, it used to be very, very, very cold. And due to that, I fell sick. Even
Yeah.
like
Okay.
after like the last episode I did in the pool, I
Mhm.
fell sick and I couldn't even come out of my room for like 2 days. It
Wow.
is quite challenging mentally and emotionally, definitely.
Yeah, because even from a viewer perspective, there's so many times you're thinking, hey, okay, maybe you can strategically plan, but then they throw another twist at you. And then it's
Mm.
suddenly just like all gone, up in the air. So that's very interesting to kind of hear because I feel like it sounds interesting to do and be a part of for a couple of days. But after 30 or so days, I feel like I would just get so overcooked. I would not know what to do after some point for a strategic plan. But kind of going off of,
Yeah, I would
yeah,
I would like to add on to that. For me, it's personally very interesting. I love pressure. I
okay,
honestly love pressure. I love pressure when the pressure is on me, when they throw another twist.
yeah.
I used to get annoyed, like, what the hell is happening? But I was like, okay, Digvijay, this is it. You have to make your way through it, and you got to get through.
Yeah. So with
Yeah.
that, same love for pressure and competition and being a part of reality shows, I mean, a lot of people who have done MTV reality shows go on to do Big Boss. Do you feel like that's something that you would want to be a part of? Do you feel like it's another kind of show that you would want to do? Because it does involve a lot of strategic planning, plus the tasks and performances. Do you feel like it's something you're interested in?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. I wouldn't lie. Like, uh, roadies and splits is about playing among us,
Yeah.
strategically, doing votes and all of that. But I feel like I'm more of a person who plays with his heart. But
Okay.
I couldn't really, with my full potential, do it in splits because I have to, I had to think about strategies,
Mm.
like how I can get many votes or how I can, turn things around inside it. But in Big Boss, I can be me.
Yeah.
Like whatever I want to do, I can. Like even if everyone goes against me, it doesn't matter. Even if they vote
Yeah.
me out, like nominate me every week, but if the audience is with me, I'll be there. So I
Okay.
feel that is the best place to be in, more than roadies and splits. I honestly feel that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we saw that in last season, right, with Abhishek Kumar, where a lot of the house was against him, and that
Yeah,
whole incident occurred, but audiences were with him. And so you're right, where you can get nominated every week, and still audiences can want you back in, and that's happened several times in the past. So
exactly.
I mean, I think it sounds like a very interesting show. Again, I don't know if I would personally love to do it, but I think it's cool to watch. And so as a reality show contestant, what do you feel like is the best and worst part of being on reality show? Like, what is that one thing that you have that, hunger for wanting to still do reality shows? It's still there in you, but maybe there's like a con there too, right? So, what would be the best and worst?
The best would be the amount of love I receive from the people. Like
Okay.
I went to Sikkim last week, and the amount of love I got was just unreal. Like, I was sitting in a cafe, and they called their friends, and I couldn't go out of the cafe for like 4 or 5 hours. There were so many people
Wow.
coming and traveling just to see me, like from 2 3 hours away. Like 6 7 days trip of Sikkim, West Bengal, and Arunachal Pradesh was like crazy. Then I realized that what actually I'm doing, and the amount of love I'm getting, I need
Mm,
to stand on it and deliver like properly. And the worst part would be, like, for many people, it can destroy your life. Honestly,
yeah.
it can destroy your life. It plays with your mind so much that,
Mhm.
after splits, I talked to a couple of people. They were not right. They were not feeling fine. You know, they were just sitting in their room, probably crying for hours and feeling sad, and because there's lot of hate coming around,
Yeah.
especially this year, and it gets horrible sometimes. Uh, us from Roadies can handle it because we've seen it, but the contestants who were new, they were thinking that they'll get a lot of fame, love, and all of that. But with love, definitely there's some hate going around,
Yeah.
and negative. Sometimes negativity overpowers positivity, so
Yeah.
that happens with a lot of contestants, and you should definitely think twice, probably 5 10 times before entering a show like this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think, I've seen a few of the contestants on Instagram say, it's been really difficult for them to kind of come out of that
Yes.
journey. And it's not even just on, roadies or splits, but on a lot of the reality television shows. I remember Hina Khan had said after she did Big Boss, it took her a year to get out of that entire environment and to just feel okay again. And I think
Yeah,
it can really take, toll on someone's mental health, even if they're receiving a lot of love, right? She received
definitely.
so much love from her journey, but it can
Yeah.
still take a huge toll on someone's mental
Mhm.
health. And that happens in reality shows all over the world. I mean, in the US version of Splitsvilla, it's Love Island, right? And a lot of people have
No,
said
I
the
mean,
same thing, where it's very difficult for them. And they actually say maybe people should not be going on this show for if you're not able to kind of take that pressure. So I agree with you. I think that can be
yeah.
a huge drawback to still receiving a lot of that overwhelming love, like what you're saying, but then you can also receive the negativity of that, right?
True.
So kind of going to my last question. The reason it's my last question is because if you're not allowed to answer this, then I can edit it out.
Okay.
But are you and your connection Unnati still together? Because a lot of people are wondering this question because they're seeing your Instagrams and your reels, etc. But if you're not allowed to answer it, totally cool, and I'll edit it out. So just let me know.
We definitely share an amazing bond. We vibe a lot.
Okay.
But if we are together or not, we're just figuring out. We are just
Okay.
as the show goes on, there's a lot of love. People want us to be together, but we don't want to rush things actually.
Yeah.
So we are just figuring out things, and we are enjoying. We are chill. We are good. So we are
That's great.
just not rushing. Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you. Okay, I didn't know if you'd be allowed to answer that or not. So that's great. So kind of actually my last final question for you is what did you think of the X's concept of the show? Because that's never happened before. Like I've watched a previous season of Splitsvilla and it's never been this complex. Did you feel like it was an additional overwhelming, concept onto you guys as the main contestants of the show when the X's came in because you're already having to kind of fight the strategy coming from the hosts and the showmakers, et cetera. But then now you also have an additional kind of competition and strategy thrown in your faces. Is that difficult for you?
I would definitely say that for contestants, it was probably the toughest season of Splitsvilla
Okay.
because when exes are involved, when your real emotions are involved
Yeah.
from your past, it gets tough. You are there to play your game, make new connection, but then someone from past of your life is coming on the show.
Mhm.
Then you're in your double mind, like what to do. Should I need to take care of her or should I need to play the game? It was very tough. Like some people didn't want to see their ex on the show, like in ever in their life. And what is happening? They're
Yeah.
coming to Splitsvilla to find new connection, and they're seeing their exes.
Yeah. So were you guys told ahead of time that this might be a potential? No, you were
No,
not.
no, no.
Okay.
If we would have, if many contestants would know that their exes are coming, they wouldn't be
They
on the
would.
show. But hats off to creators.
Yeah.
That is probably the reason our show is doing great. It's
Yeah.
hitting numbers. I really believe Splitsvilla X5 is not our show. It's the people who created the
Yeah.
concept is the main masterpiece.
Yeah.
I believe.
I mean, I'm a marketing consultant, and I think from a marketing standpoint, it's great. It's a great move.
Great, great, amazing.
But I
Hats
can
off.
also see from a contestant perspective how it can be very frustrating to see your ex
Yeah.
right in front of you. And you're also trying to build a new connection, plus you're trying to play the game. So it's a lot of things
Exactly.
at hand there.